So you are selling on your website, which is great. But no matter how wonderful your products or services are, or no matter how great you are at selling, people will get to your checkout page and for some reason or another, they're just going to leave it. As a matter of fact, up to 70% of people who get to a checkout page are going to decide to leave it. That's 7 out of every 10 people that you've worked really hard to get to your website in the first place. So this is called cart abandonment. And this, my friend, is costing you a lot of money. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to go back out, get some of those customers come back in, finish that sales process, and thereby increasing your sales and profits. So I did some research and discovered what seems to be a really cool free plugin by CartFlows, and it's called Woocommerce Cart Abandonment Recovery. Now, there's a few reasons that I love the look of this plugin. One, it's free. Second, it seems really easy to set up. And third, it looks to be really, really effective. So the magic behind this plugin is it'll go out, it'll notify people, bring them back to the exact spot they left off in. Now, you want to get those people pretty quickly. Otherwise, that initial excitement they had about buying your product or service might fade away. So hats off to the people who developed this product because they've already determined the perfect times to send those notifications out and the wording that is most likely to convert those people when they come back to the cart. So now you might be wondering, should I give somebody money off or percentage off to come back and complete that sale? What will incite them the most? And I'm going to give you something called the Rule of 100, which was developed by somebody named Jonah Berger. And essentially it goes like this. If your product is priced under $100, go ahead and give that person a percentage off. So let's say you're selling something for 20 bucks, right? Instead of giving somebody $2 off, give them 10% off. It's the exact same thing, but go with the percentage. Now, if you're selling something over $100, so let's say you've got a $500 product, and let me just ask you, here's my $500 product. Do you guys want 10% off my $500 product, or would you guys like $50 off my $500 product, right? It's the exact same thing, but because 50 is a bigger number than 10, there's more perceived value there. So you're going to go ahead and offer $50 off. So this is called pricing psychology, and pricing psychology really works. So you could use this here and you can use this in your other marketing as well. Okay, so now you might be wondering, well, how effective is it sending out these emails and bringing people back anyway? Well, according to a study by Klaviyo, cart recovery emails earn back between 0.4% to almost 15% of lost sales for all price points. So low price points or high price points, doesn't matter. It can recover up to 15% of lost sales. But I've seen people get up to 30% of recovered lost sales. And as you move on and practice and split test and perfect it for you, your systems, and your customers, you can definitely aim for higher numbers. But think about it. Even if you are selling that $500 product and you get just one person back, that's $500 you otherwise wouldn't have had. That's not so shabby for a plugin that you got for free. So I'm on the back end of my WordPress website, and under plugins, you're going to come over to the search key and you're going to type in WooCommerce, but here it is right here. So WooCommerce Cart Abandonment Recovery. Okay, and if you look, it's got over 200,000 installations. So that, is really good. I always like looking at how many installations something has before I put it on my website. I also like to look at when it's been updated. So this has been updated 3 months ago. And also the check mark, it's compatible with my version of WordPress. And I just updated my version of WordPress. So you definitely always want to make sure that that's compatible with the latest version you have of WordPress. And all I'm going to do is click on install now. And then of course, once it's installed, you're going to go ahead and activate it. And basically that is it. So there's my activate. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that. And it's as easy as that. It's a free plugin. You don't have to pay any money. You don't have to do anything else. There are some other ways to install it, but this is the easiest. Is just go right into WordPress because you're going to have to put it in WordPress anyway. Just find it through the plugins, install it. And basically, once it's installed, where you're going to find it is if you go under WooCommerce, see, oops, at the very bottom, there's cart abandonment right there at the very bottom. So let's go ahead and let's click that. Okay, and then what you're gonna do is just scroll, 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 and have a look. So the first thing I'm going to see is the reporting tool, which I really appreciate as a marketer, because as a marketer, numbers are golden for me, and I want to see exactly what I'm doing that works, especially the things that work that bring in profit. So of course, the all these numbers are really, really important to me, but the things that are going to be most important to me is the recovery rate. How many of my potentially lost sales did this plugin actually help me to recover percentage wise? And also, of course, I'm going to look at my recovered revenue. How much money was using this plugin able to come get back for me that I otherwise wouldn't have gotten because that customer would have gotten away. So, love my numbers. So, you're going to come back here when you've got numbers and check it loyally and see what is working. Okay, next, we're going to look at follow up emails. So these emails that they've preset, as I mentioned, are set out to go out at ideal times 30 minutes after somebody abandoned their carts, 1 day after, and 3 days after. So 30 minutes after is prime because it's still fresh in their minds, hopefully, and they're still excited, hopefully, but we want to grab them before it's too late because let's face it, after 30 minutes, especially if you're running around and you got distracted, it's going to be, as time goes on, it's going to be easier and easier to forget why you wanted to buy or what you were trying to buy in the first place, right? Okay, so keep those exactly as they are. So you can activate the templates from here, or you can do it. I like to do things after I have it the way I like it. So let me show you how to edit emails. So there's 3 emails. Let's start with email number 1 and have a look at that. And remember I said how these emails are set up to convert. So this email, as you can see, nice, easy, to the point, even the subject line, purchase issue. They know they were just about to make a purchase. Then they get an email that says purchase issue and they're like, did I have a purchase issue? It might entice them to click and go back in and just have a peek at the email. And this first email actually has a pretty good high open rate. So I wouldn't fool around with it too much. There's just some things I want to draw your attention to. One of the things is these things here, okay, in brackets. Those things there are programmed fields pull information in from the system. So when it says hi customer first name, it's not actually going to say hi customer first name. It's actually going to pull in their first name and put their first name there. So if you have somebody filling out a checkout page, chances are you absolutely should grab at the very least their first name, probably have their last name and their email address, right? So this is where their first name would be pulled in. Now, maybe you're not the type of person who says, hi, first name. So let's say that person's name is Amy. Maybe don't say, hi, Amy, on your email list or to your email list. Maybe you say, hey. Maybe you say, what's up? Maybe you say, how's it going? Or whatever. Whatever your personality and your style is. I mean, maybe you're more sophisticated and you just want to use more flowery language, or maybe you're just really laid back like me and you're just like, your email list, you want them to be your friends. So you just have more of a friendly tone. So whatever your style is, make sure your personality remains consistent across all your marketing. So you're going to go ahead and you can change that here. Just be very careful not to take the code out. And I don't like how it ends with kindly. That's so boring. So we don't want to end things with kindly. I personally end my emails with, most part, I always say to your online success, because I want my email list to know that I want them to be successful online. So that's what I say, but I'm trying to change it up into something a little bit more inspirational. So put your personality in at the beginning, at the end. Don't fool around too much with what the wording is, though, because again, this is proven to be a good converting template. And as time goes on, yeah, come back and test things out, but make sure you test it and test it before and after. Whatever works, that's what you're going to stick with and use. Okay. So that's enough said on that. Oh, and I just want to mention this in case you do accidentally take out a field, or for whatever reason, if you want to add another automatic field for your system to pull that information in for you automatically, this is where the fields are right here, WCAR fields, and you can go in and you can see and have a look at what they are and see if any apply to what you're trying to do with your emails. So that's enough said on that. Now, this is where, remember, we looked at when the emails are programmed to go out. So this is where they're programmed to go out. Again, if you want to split test it in future after you start getting some results, go ahead and test it out. I mean, do you want to test after they abandon their cart for 30 minutes, or do you want to test after they've abandoned their cart for 40 minutes or 20 minutes or 15 minutes? Like that's a little too super quick, because some people might just have to go to the bathroom and come back and finish their purchase or go get their credit card in their purse and then somebody talk to them and then give them time to come back, right? But you might want to test it out. But again, just do it as a split test and see what works. So this is minutes, and if you click it, you've got hours and days as options as well. Okay, and always send a test email to yourself to make sure that everything looks beautiful before you make it live and go put it out in the world for other people to see. All right, so that's your safety net right there. Send a test email. And the final thing that I like to do is, once it's all beautiful, I like to activate the template, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to click on update changes. And once you do that, it becomes active, and right away when people start going to my cart, they'll automatically start receiving email number 1. Okay, so let's just go ahead and click on follow-up emails again to bring us back to the email templates. And I'm not going to go through email number 2 with you. You guys can do that, change what you need to. I'm just going to show you one little thing on email number 3. And remember, we talked about the coupon and how important that coupon is to bring people back. Okay, this system suggests that you send out I shouldn't say the system, the people who developed the system suggests that you send out that coupon on day 3. So basically, you remind them right away. You remind them one day later. It's like, hey, you forgot this thing, come get it back. And then on the 3rd day, it's your last-ditch effort to bring them back. So you're going to be like, okay, will you come back if I give you a discount? Come on, people. So if you do it this way and you want to create that coupon, you're just going to go to where it says create coupon. You're going to click on that. And we already talked about this. Do you want to offer them a percentage discount to come back, or do you want to offer them a money discount to come back? So there's your fixed cart discount is your money your money amount, and your percentage discount is the first option. So if I do a percentage account, maybe I'll start off with 10%, because if I can send it out my final ditch effort to bring them back and I can get them back in at 10%, it's not too much of a loss for me. I'm still making some good profit, hopefully. And it works out to be a great deal. But maybe it's not working. I mean, maybe on email number 3, you're noticing you're still not getting a lot of people come back. So test it. So what happens? I'm just going to test it maybe for a week or a day or whatever. But what happens if I do a whopping 50% off to bring that person back? Because you got to remember, otherwise this person would be gone and you wouldn't get them back. Okay. So you're going to use it as a split test. You're going to see what happens, see what works, and always do what works. So if you decide it's your 10% that's working, if you decide it's your 25%, if you decide it's your money off that's working on your higher price products, perfect. Just keep using it. The other thing I'll mention over here is the coupon expiry date, because you don't want coupons out there that you forget about that people could share with their friends or whatever. So, if you want the coupon to expire, or even tell the person this coupon expires in 24 hours, or 8 hours, or this coupon will self-destruct in 5 minutes. Don't give them just 5 minutes, but you know what I mean? So this is where you would put in the coupon expiry date. Or expiry hour or expiry minutes. And again, it's good to build a sense of your urgency, and let them know. Let them know this coupon is only active, or your discount or promo it will only be active for this amount of time. Because in marketing, creating a sense of urgency is a really amazing marketing tactic to use. Okay. The other thing here is it gives you the option for free shipping. So if you're selling physical products, you could try combinations of, maybe just give them free shipping and see if that brings them back over. Maybe give them 10% off and free shipping and see if that brings them back over, and convinces them to complete that checkout or not. So you're split testing all these things, but I think it's just really cool that this plugin actually offers those one-click options for you. And again, you could see this goes out after 3 days. But if you're split testing, you might want to try it at 4 days. But I wouldn't recommend it. Again, it's a system proven to work. Try this out first, okay? And then send the email to yourself. Yes, please always send that test email to yourself just in case. Just in case. And I always like to send it to myself, and I always like to send it to a friend as well so I can get a second set of eyeballs on it before it goes out. So you're going to come back up, activate the template now, and make sure that is on. And then when everything else is perfect, you're going to go ahead and click on Update Changes. So now that that's all done, let's scroll up and go ahead and click on Settings. So under settings, let's just go through it pretty quickly. There's not too much you have to do on this end, okay? So first thing is keep that check mark at the top because you definitely want the system to start capturing abandoned carts and start tracking abandoned carts. Your next part here is the abandoned cart cutoff time. So when do you consider a cart abandoned? Do you want to give people 15 minutes and consider it abandoned when they first get to your cart, or do you want to give them half an hour or 20 minutes? I say just leave it at the default. 20 minutes sounds like a good amount of time for people to hurry on back and finish that purchase. But it's up to you. And again, you're going to test it, right? Now, the tracking, basically all this means is you got a lot of different people maybe working on your website, and you're coming back and you're registered as different types of users on your website. So basically, the only reason you would want to disable some of this is because you don't want the system tracking. Like if you're doing test purchases, you don't want your system, because remember I said numbers are really important. You don't want the system getting all mucked up by, if you've got people testing and you're testing and all these people are going to your cart, it's going to be tracking numbers that aren't really customer numbers. So you don't want that, right? Just track the customer numbers. So once everything is set up and you're actually going to start using it, just go ahead and, you're the administrator probably of your own website. So you definitely want to click off administrator, because if you're like me and you set something up for sale, you probably want to test it a lot and go in a lot to do. So you don't want it to count all of those numbers, because then your numbers and your results will be skewed. All right. Exclude email sending for. So basically, all of this means is that it's going to go ahead and send emails to anything other than a completed payment or a processing payment. The other things, the pending payment, on hold, things like that, means that people haven't actually technically paid for the thing yet. So if it's on hold, maybe the inventory has come out, but their payment hasn't gone through yet for whatever reason. So, until the payment is actually in your account, consider it, what's that word I'm looking for? Just consider it not sold, and just feel free to go ahead and send them these cart abandonment emails and keep reminding them that they actually have to pay for the thing that they're going to get, and keep reminding them that they want it. So this is UTM parameters, and I love UTM parameters as a marketer, and you may have seen them. All it is, well, you've probably seen them if you bought anything online and you clicked on a link to get somewhere, you've probably seen it. So when the URL is like really, really, really long and it's got a whole bunch of codes and whatever, that's basically, they could be using UTM parameters or something else for the tracking, but basically it's different code that's added to a URL so you could trace where that thing came from. So if you're tracking traffic, where did that traffic come from? You could tell by your UTM parameters. So same this, if you're using UTM parameters to track your sales and where your sales are actually coming from, this is where you would add your UTM parameters that you're tracking. Okay, and if you're not using UTM parameters, you have no idea what I'm talking about, you want to look into UTM parameters, because you always want to track the source of where your sales and your traffic is coming in from. Okay, what else do we want to know here, people? Everything else is pretty intuitive, so I'm not going to get into that. Make sure, obviously, your name, your email, your information, how you want it to come across, whatever. Easy peasy stuff. The other thing I want to draw your attention to is it does offer this ability to do a webhooks, which is right over here. And what a webhook, and the only reason you would use it is if you've got marketing automation set up on something like MailChimp or Zoho or ActiveCampaign, places like that where you actually set up your marketing automation. So if you want your marketing automation to basically send out the emails that are coming from this tool, then this is where you would go ahead and set that up. Otherwise, just go ahead and let the system, it's your WooCommerce email notification system. So if you've got your email notification set up on WooCommerce, this is pretty much the same sort of thing. It'll just automatically automate those emails from within your WordPress system. Okay, but if you wanted to come out through email automation, just know that that is a possibility and you can set up that webhook right here. Okay, and the very last thing I want to draw your attention to on this page is I want you to go ahead and enable the GDPR settings just to be safe, because if anybody from the European Union happens across your website and they decide to buy, you're going to want them to buy, probably, right? I don't know why you wouldn't want them to buy. But in order for you to sell to people who live there, or I think it even applies to people who are visiting who are from there, you need to be compliant with GDPR. So this little statement right here that it automatically puts in, what it'll do is add that statement to your checkout page under where they're adding their email address, so they know that they're giving you permission to contact them about anything put into their cart. So very, very important to always be GDPR compliant in something like this. On your emails, anytime you get somebody to leave their email address on your website, just look into GDPR compliance if you haven't already done so. Okay, and really simple. Final thing is when you're done with your settings, you're just going to go ahead and click on Save Changes. All right, so now it's time to turn those abandoned carts into cold, hard cash. So go ahead, install that plugin, follow the steps I gave you, and then what I want you to do is return back here and share your results. Share those numbers, share how many people you got back, share how much extra sales you've made. Show it off, because I want to know, and I'm sure other people watching this video want to know and compare their results as well, or inspire the people who haven't yet watched this video and are debating whether they should this. Don't debate. Go out, do it. Take action right now. So don't forget to subscribe for more awesome marketing tips and tricks, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.